Hello, this is Ian from Whitehorse RV. I'll be video demoing the 2021 Jayco 154B SLX. We'll start out here. You got your propane tank right here. It's a single tank. It has nuts and bolts that hold it down on each side, front and back, to remove the bottle to fill it. You have your battery here. It's an RV deep cycle battery. It is a maintenance battery, meaning you have to check the water level once a year. It gets charged either when the RV is plugged in or if it's plugged into your vehicle, if your vehicle has charge, through the 7-way plug for the lights. Coming around, you have your tire pressures and all your info right there. Right there is where you fill your fresh tank. Your fresh tanks when you carry your own water. To use your water pump when you don't have anywhere where you can connect a water supply, like either dry camping or in transit. If you're taking a long trip, you might want to put water in there so you can use your pump to use your own bathroom. Below it is the city water connection. That's where you would connect the garden hose in from the campground to your house, and that supplies water through all the plumbing without the pump. You have your water heater here. Behind here, you have your drain plug right there. It's a nylon drain plug. You only want to use nylon drain plugs in it, or ABS or plastic, just because it's an aluminum tank, and if you use a metal plug, you can strip it, and then you would need a new tank. So I suggest only using those type plugs. You pull that plug to drain it, you know, if you're not going to be using it for a while, or when you winterize it. You have your cord here that pulls in and out or stows in there. It's a 30 amp 110 electrical plug. Those two covers are the back of your refrigerator. Just access them at the beginning of season to clean it out. Behind here is where your cable TV is. If you have at a campground, you would connect the campground cable in right there. That's the exhaust for your furnace. Down here you have your sewer connection. You have your gray valve on the left and your black valve on the right. The gray valve is your sinks and showers. The black valve is your toilet. When you're connected to the campground, you can leave the gray open, but the black has to stay shut for the toilet. That way the chemical you put in stays in, and you don't end up with the solid staying and the liquids going with a large mess. So with that, what you do is when you hook up, you open the gray, you leave the black shut, you put the chemical down the toilet, you monitor it by checking your monitoring panel. I'll share what that is. When it hits about 2/3, you would shut your gray, you would open the black, dump it out. And then when it was empty, you would shut it, then put chemical in the toilet again. Before you're unhooking to leave the campground, I'd probably shut the gray for a little bit to build water up. So that way, after you do your final dump on your black, you could use the gray water to clean your hose out. Your hose would normally be stored in the bumper here behind this cap. Right now it's in a compartment because it's brand new. You have a full-size spare. Inside this compartment right now is your sewer hose and your front wheel and your jack handle. You have a 110 plug there behind that cap. This model has rear stabilizers. That's what the crank handle's for, right there. Or you can use a 3/4 inch socket on a drill to run them up and down. They can't lift the trailer, like hold its weight up. They're just there to stabilize the trailer out. This model has a power awning with speakers in the heads of the awning. Coming inside, you have your awning switch here. Hit out, runs your awning out. In, brings it in. You have to hold the button, it doesn't automatically go. And you have to let go of the button when it goes all the way out, when it's fully extended. If you keep holding the out button, it'll wind up backwards. Light switches. Your cable hookup for your TV. You also have a 12-volt outlet. The little button here, when that's pushed in and that green light's on, that's boosting your antenna, but it's blocking the campground cable. So you have campground cable hooked up, you have to have that off for it to come through. Your radio here is a Bluetooth style radio. It picks up AM, FM, or you can connect your cell phone to it. Your zone 1 or your zone 2 controls the speakers inside or outside. Usually zone 1 is inside speakers, and usually zone 2 is outside speakers. You have your refrigerator over here. Now this model here is propane or 110. When you turn it on, if you put it on gas, it's only on gas. If you have that off, if you have it in and says auto, you're on auto. With the switch out, you're on gas. When you're on auto, it'll use 110 first, but if it loses 110, it'll automatically switch itself to propane. If you have it just on gas, it's only going to run on propane no matter what. Down below here, you have your fuse panel, which has your 110 and your 12-volt fuses in it. You have your carbon monoxide and LP detector over here. That's hardwired to the battery. So if the trailer's sitting for any amount of time, you're going to want to unhook the negative side of the battery or have it plugged in, because the memory of the radio and that will bring your battery down. Every light has a little button in the center. Even if it's on a switch, it still has the little button in the center. This Gfi outlet here controls every outlet in the unit. So I would check there before the fuse box if you don't have 110. Here you have the controls to turn your water pump on, to turn your water heater either for electric or for propane. Either one's fine. Gray, black, your fresh tank, and your battery level. It'll tell you. That's what I was talking about. If you're using when you're using the toilet, you come here and just hit black, and when it hits 2/3, you dump it. Other than that, the others, you would just check if you happen to be dry camping using the gray, or if you want to fill the fresh, you could use it to check how much is in the fresh. And the fresh tank only works when you have the water pump on. Now for your stove, you have to get a lighter, put it to light, and light it, and then just turn it off. That's your furnace there. It's controlled by this thermostat here. The switch is really stiff. It's really hard to push over. So don't feel like you're gonna break it, because it's just very hard. All of them are that way. It's how they've been for years. So all the way that way turns it on, all the way the opposite way turns it off. The lower switch is your temperature, from colder to hotter, and then turn it off. You pull it all the way over. You will hear the fan run a little while after you turn it off. It's just to cool itself down and clear itself out. You have your bunks here. Head into the bathroom. You have your vent above, skylight, faucet, and your toilet. And like I said, you just drop the chemical straight down the toilet. As you see the pink, it's been winterized. But yeah, you would just do that and you would drop the chemical down in. You can get it in powder, liquid, or little like pods. There's no chemical in your toilet now, just antifreeze from us winterizing it. As for the rest, you have your stove hood here that has a fan, has a light, and your microwave. I'm not plugged in right now, otherwise the microwave would be lit up. But the microwave runs on 110 only, and so does the air conditioner. And your controls for your AC are here. This selects fan or blue. Blue would be actual AC. Gray is just the fan on. This is your temperature control here. That way's the coldest. You have the quick dump. When these are shut, it's pushing the AC through these outer vents, whereas when you have it open, it's dumping straight down. It's the only difference. And you have 4 of these little vents to position to help angle your air conditioning. Right here is your smoke detector. That does have a 9-volt battery in it that you do have to change. And I do believe that covers everything in this unit. If you have any questions, just feel free to give us a call. Me, Ian, in service, or your salesman. Thank you and have a wonderful day.